Alright, in this video what I'm going to do is replace the license plate bulbs, the bulbs that light up the license plate on a 2009 Nissan Cube, and I'm replacing them with LEDs. I was going to replace as many bulbs as I could with LEDs, but I just noticed that, let's see, I'm going to get a better shot if I take it off the tripod. I just noticed that the LEDs have a disclaimer on them that says that it's for off-road use only. And I don't do off-roading, at least not in a Cube. Okay, it looks like what I need to do is push this little tab in. Now this is a lot easier because I've got the license plate removed. I'm going to go so far as to say it becomes very difficult if you don't have the license plate removed. So I'm going to push this tab inwards, but this is a good time to re-emphasize that I'm doing this at the end of July. I'm doing this in very warm weather, and the reason to do things with plastic in the warm weather, you're going to see it right now, as I have to bend this tab. There's a good chance that that tab would snap and break if it was more brittle. And plastic becomes more brittle in the winter time when the temperature is very cold. So if you have the opportunity to do this when it's warm, or if you do it inside, I guess it doesn't matter what time of year it is. But okay, so now I'm going to put this back on the tripod. Got the camera back on the tripod, and now I should be able to just turn this counterclockwise. I'm going to push down slightly while I'm turning counterclockwise. There we go, and it pops right out. So now I think this light still worked, whereas this one over here was not working. So I'm going to verify that. Yes, that light is working. One little trick when you're working with LEDs, or one thing that you have to keep in mind, is that, you know what, that's going to be hot. That incandescent light is going to be hot unless I turn it off. But what I was saying is, one thing to keep in mind when you're working with LEDs is that there's a good chance that you have to be careful as to the polarity, or which way you insert them. This incandescent light bulb, which I just pulled out, will work either way. Whether it's turned this way or whether I flip it over that way, it'll still work. The LED, on the other hand, you have to make sure that it can only go one way and still work. The other way, it will not work. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the power back on again and see which way to orient my LED light. So, I'm going to grab a paper towel. I had already put this LED light in a parking light socket and tested it yesterday. It does look different. It does look more white than the incandescent looked in there. And I'm thinking that might be why they say for off-road use only, because it's not amber enough maybe. So okay, let's try it first this way, and it lights. Now I'm going to flip it over and you'll see it will not light. See how it does not light? But flipped in this position with the red dot towards the bumper. So if I put the red dot towards the bumper, then it works, in my case. And in my case, if I put the red dot away from the bumper, it does not work. So I want to remember to put the red dot towards the bumper in this particular bulb socket. Now I'm going to go get my dielectric grease. Be right back. So before I apply my dielectric grease, I'm going to go ahead and make the same point regarding this incandescent bulb. You can see this way it's going to light, and if I flip it over, it'll still light. So either way, the incandescent light still illuminates. But the LED has to go in the right way, only one way, in order for it to illuminate. Alright, so I'm going to apply some dielectric grease. And the grease is it is a lubricant. It is not a red dot towards the bumper. There we go. It is not a insulator nor a conductor of electricity. What it is a grease or a lubricant that gets squished out of the way when the contacts are coming into contact with each other. So it does not form a barrier that prevents, there is no prevention of, and you saw that I just turned that clockwise to make it go back in. The dielectric grease does not, take this off. Now my lights are likely to turn off fairly soon automatically, and that's just the car's way of keeping the battery from draining down. So if you see that happen while I'm talking, that's why. In fact, maybe I'll go turn it off right now. Just so we don't get the weird lighting for the camera. Okay. So I'm going to put that there's a little white tab here. Oops, there's a little white tab here that's going to go in that little receptacle up here. And then this is going to clip into place. And again, I'm doing this in summertime, which means I can subject the plastic to these stresses without much fear that the plastic is going to snap and break. There we go, that locked into place. So now I'm confident that that one's going to work. We'll go ahead and make sure it's still working compared to the other one. Okay, so we've got the new one is still lit, and this one over here still needs to be replaced. So push in slightly. My fingernails might not be strong enough to do this. There we go. Okay. Yeah, see, if the license plate was in the way here, that would not want to have come out. Alright, so I'll set this back on the okay. Then I'll turn counterclockwise, pull it apart. Okay. And now the other LED that I had tested yesterday is over here in this. I don't know if you can see how much whiter that looks. And it's brighter, yes, but it's also more white than this. So that's because this is incandescent. Yesterday I compared this regular incandescent to this LED. And so I'm going to pull this LED out and revert back to incandescent. Only because I noticed that it said for off-road use only. Now, in order to free this, I think I'm going to have to take this panel off. So, you know what? I am going to take the tire off too. So this is going to have to be two separate videos. What I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the tire, then I'm going to remove this interior panel, and that'll give me access to the back side of this, so that I can remove this out in this direction and remove the bulb. So the reason I was able to access this before without removing this panel is because about 2 years ago somebody in the parking lot hit my car here and smushed this enough to pop the little tab off, so that the tab broke and my light had been just dangling. So I was kind of perplexed as to how do I get my new light, this replacement lens, back in. Once I've got it back in, how do I remove it? And it seems that the way to remove it is to go in through this side. So I'll have to do a whole nother video after this one showing how to get there, and I'll do that in about probably 20 minutes from now. All right, bye.